am the Executive Director here at Neighborhood House. Since 1894, Neighborhood House has been a pioneer in innovation and at the forefront of our industry. Our founder, Emma McVicker, established the first free kindergarten association right here on the west side of Salt Lake City. That was in 1894, 2 years before Utah was even a state. We championed full-day, year-round early education and school-age programs to support the diverse, hardworking families in our community, to give them the support they need to climb the economic ladder. In 1978, Neighborhood House was yet again on the forefront as we established the first adult daycare center in Utah, caring for our aging and differently abled adults. We were pioneers in the intergenerational movement, bringing children and aging adults together for the mutual benefit of both populations. Our leadership has always been forward-thinking and attuned to the needs of those we serve, as evidenced by the beautiful building we're standing in front of that was recently completed to better meet the growing need for child and adult care for working families that is both quality and affordable. Today, I am so proud to announce that we are again leading out in our industry by announcing our move to a $15 minimum wage for all full-time employees. This is quite a feat in the nonprofit world as it is in the caregiving industry. Both are traditionally underpaid professionals. We recognize the impact this will have on our employees, who are the core of everything we do. We also recognize the impact it will have on the continued growth and quality of our programs. This would only be possible with strong executive leadership and a board of trustees that is truly bold and forward-thinking. Additionally, we would never do this at the expense of affordability for our clients. And we want to recognize the funders that make this possible. Those of you who donate to Neighborhood House are all a part of this success. Today, I'd like to introduce the first speaker, who is someone who is one of those funders and a significant funder who, when they heard what we were trying to do, stepped up to the call with a significant donation in order to fund the $15 minimum wage increase for all of our employees. That's Christine Ivory. She's the founder of the Clark and Christine Ivory Foundation. Welcome.
We have long been supporters and fans of the Neighborhood House. Willa's Workshop, I don't know if you remember the cute little fairy fair that we used to do in our neighborhood, recently just sent down a bunch of books, and they are thrilled to be supporters, and the Ivory Foundation is also just happy to support this move, and it is forward and it is at the front of what needs to be happening in our communities, where we are caring for our seniors and we're caring for children. So we are in full support of this bold move, and it is a move that needed to happen. So we're very, very proud to be supporters here, and thankful for all of the hard, good, solid work that happens in this building. So thank you for caring for our seniors, and thank you for caring for our children, and we look forward to supporting our workers. Thank you.
Next is another person who's been instrumental in all of our growth with our funding. It's our wonderful Senator, Luz Escamilla from the west side here. She's such a champion for so many causes and always been a champion for Neighborhood Health. So,
good morning, everyone. It's always a pleasure to be in Neighborhood House, and it feels like a neighborhood, which is why it's so exciting. But being here today in this, I've had the opportunity to participate in multiple press conferences with them, having this beautiful building, embracing on the west side of Salt Lake City, children and our seniors. It's critical. But now with this new announcement, I'm just so proud that there are in my district, the best district in the state of Utah, Senate District 1, but more importantly, it's just the idea of living wages for every single employee in this facility is important. It sends the right message that we care for the people that are caring for our seniors and kiddos, and that message is critical. I want to make sure everybody recognizes how difficult it is sometimes for private nonprofits like Neighborhood House that are 501c3s to get to this point. And as someone that's currently operating a small business, a small startup, it's very, very hard. You have to meet those budget numbers, making sure you can pay, get ready for payroll every 2 weeks or whatever that happens. And I'm just impressed by the commitment of the leadership. So congratulations, first of all, Jennifer, for your leadership as the CEO and executive director. But then everybody else here, the founders, the funding partners that are making it happen, that believe on why this is important. Is the hardest money to access as a nonprofit is administrative cost. And people have a hard without great employees like the ones that Neighborhood House has, it makes it really difficult. So when founders and supporters and financial support comes the way to make disparity on wages and living wages is changing the paradigm. So thank you to the Ivory Foundation and the families that are behind this. And thank you for the commitment of the board of this organization, because it requires a board commitment, knowing that they have to come to fruition, and they're not making a full commitment to the staff and employees, which are the family of Neighborhood House. I am just thrilled to also have the Utah Nonprofit Association present here with Kate Rubicava, and hopefully a future something else. That will be very exciting too in our community. But just having everyone come together, I've been working in legislation related to wage parity, obviously related one to gender, where we know there's a huge disparity here in Utah. And a lot of the jobs that are employed here in Neighborhood House happens to be a lot of female and a lot of women working those jobs. And you see those wage gap is even larger, right? So to have Neighborhood House full commitment, $15 to start, it's changing the entire conversation. I am really, really excited. When she called me, I was like, I'm dropping everything and being here to support, to really dance. I know Neighborhood House tends to dance and all of their announcements. Guys, I'm following you guys on Twitter, and I'm going to join you guys in a dance today. We're going on. So it better be a good one, because it won't repeat again to embarrass myself. But you guys, I can tell how happy you guys are serving communities, how dedicated you are, and $15 is the beginning. It's a great message, and I hope to see more nonprofits and more companies bringing this commitment forward. I'm just happy. Thank you for letting me be part of this, and I'm excited to join the next dance portion, whatever that is. Thank you.
All right, speaking of nonprofits, we're going to bring up our fearless leader of the nonprofit world, Kate Rubicava, the CEO of Utah Nonprofit Association.
Good morning. My name is Kate Rubicava. I'm the CEO for the Utah Nonprofits Association. So having an adequate wage is critical to the stability of families, our economy, and our communities. In Utah, nonprofit organizations provide 6.7% of Utah's jobs, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. The nonprofit workforce provides critical services in our communities. They care for our children and the elderly. They inspire and educate. They care for our lands and animals. Essentially, nonprofit employees are the cornerstone to any and all services that are provided in our communities. Without dedicated nonprofit staff, organizations would not be able to realize their missions. I applaud Neighborhood House, especially the board and Jennifer, the Ivory Foundation, and others who were instrumental in making this critical shift in starting wages for the team here at Neighborhood House. When our staff can worry less about making ends meet, they can focus more on achieving the best version of our missions. Yeah. Now, this kind of partnership between nonprofit and funder is a wonderful example of a way to build bridges out of poverty, to support the staff, that support the missions that we love so dearly. Congratulations. This is very exciting.
One of our important industries is our after-school programs. We're going to bring up Cassandra, who's from the Utah After School Network, to say a few words.
and I hate to speak after Senator Escamilla and Kate, but here we are. I'm Cassandra from the Utah After School Network, and I'm absolutely thrilled to be here today. At the Utah After School Network, we support living wages for everyone, not just in the after school field, but particularly in the after school field. We know that we face a lot of turnover, and the best way to combat that is through living wages and competitive salaries. So I'm absolutely thrilled to congratulate Neighborhood House on this huge accomplishment, to the leaders and to the board. It's an unbelievable feat that you've made for your field, and I thank you for doing that because you're setting a precedent that I hope many others will follow. So thank you so much for your hard work.
And then early education is so vital to breaking the cycle of poverty, and we have a representative today from NACES, which is the National Association for the Education of Young Children. I say that all the time, I can't believe it. She's the executive director of the Utah chapter, and I'd love to have her come up and talk about why this is so meaningful for preschool and early education.
Thank you, Jennifer. My name is Katie Rickard with the Utah Association for the Education of Young Children, and it's an honor to be here today. So the Utah Association for the Education of Young Children is proud of the work Neighborhood House has done to establish a system of compensation that's being rolled out today that will help address equity and parity issues for employees who, like so many others in the early childhood workforce do, struggle to stay afloat in life and in their families. Because Neighborhood House is one of our NAEYC accredited centers, we take great pride in being here today with them. And we know that they know the value and quality and hard work that goes into running early childhood programming that is meaningful to communities and families. And we're so pleased to see that be acknowledged today in this way with salaries. For decades in our state and nation, early childhood workers have been some of the lowest paid professionals while doing the most important work in our communities. After years of strategic work at the national level, the National Association for the Education of Young Children's Power to the Profession movement has focused in part on how increasing wages for our early childhood professionals will also increase their professionalism, and research has shown that increased wages leads to increased commitment to stay working in the field. What this means is that programs will pay less overall for overhead costs in their hiring practices, and it also means that they'll have longevity of care for their children and families, and they'll also be able to cut costs in ways that are more meaningful to their programs to use in other places. The issues of low wages and commitment to the field have finally been acknowledged by many in recent years, and especially in the last year with COVID-19. And during this historic week for the early childhood education field with President Biden's American Family Plan proposal that does include a $15 an hour minimum wage for early childhood educators, Neighborhood House will be a leader in Utah, showing many how this work can also happen in their own programs and agencies. We are excited for Neighborhood House, for their staff, and for the many lives that will be improved and changed by this historic decision that acknowledges our early childhood field as a true profession, and that those working in it deserve a living wage. So thank you and congratulations.
So as everybody has mentioned, we have an incredible board of trustees whose bold and foresight in everything that we do always puts our clientele at the forefront. And we have someone representing the board of trustees here today. She's been on the board for a long time. She's also a past president. I'd like to have Sarah Wilcox come up. Woo!
Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you all for being here today. As a board of directors, we always think about our mission when we're making decisions, and the mission of Neighborhood House is to provide quality, affordable care for children and adults. We want to keep caretakers in the workforce moving up the economic ladder. But it's also really important to remember we're an employer, and we employ almost 70 people, most of whom live right here in this neighborhood. And so we want to be a responsible employer. It's so important to be a responsible employer. Our employees are giving of themselves at 100% day in and day out. They're continuing their education. They're getting certificates. They're going to trainings. They're providing the quality care that we're asking for. And so as a board, it's really important for us to remember we need to take care of our employees. And so this is, in the past 2 years, we've really made it a priority after building this big building. We know we can do hard things, and taking care of our employees is at the top of that list. So this is just the beginning, and this is a great place that we just so love our employees.
Thank you so much. I'd like to bring up now Sarah Scott. She's our Adult Day Services Director. So really on the forefront of her industry, and like to hear how this affects the adult day service industry.
Adult daycare is a home and community-based service which allows adults with functional limitations or disabilities to age in place. In other words, to live at home with their loved ones. And often that's done in lieu of transitioning them to institutional care, which is much more expensive. Our adult daycare here at Neighborhood House defers that point in time to a much later date by offering supported social engagement, physical activities, and other stimulating activities to these adults in our community. For low-income family caregivers, adult daycare represents the difference often between employment and unemployment, or respite and caregiver burnout, which has its own set of health consequences and costs. This raise shows our staff, who are the caregivers of the caregivers, that we appreciate their work, which cannot be overstated, and brings Neighborhood House closer to its mission of increasing the quality of life for all of these families, staff and clients alike. As Sarah said, it represents our commitment as a responsible employer, as well as a community member. And speaking for the adult daycare staff here at Neighborhood House, it represents, it will affect 100% of our staff. So thank you very much to the board and Jennifer.
Next we have Lisa Hackwell. She is our early education manager here at Neighborhood House.
First of all, thank you so much for this donation and for us to be able to do this and give this to our employees. We call teaching a profession, but are we truly treating our teachers as professionals? Now I feel that we can say that we are. And we try to show through employee appreciation things all the time that our employees are valued and they're appreciated. But now I truly feel that we can, that they can see it. We're giving them the means to be able to live a better life. And like those that have gone and spoken before, how important early education is gets so overlooked. And between the ages of 0 to 5 years old, the child's brain is growing exponentially, and they are learning so much of what they're going to need for the rest of their lives and their education. And so these teachers, we need to show them that they are valued, that they are appreciated, and that they are truly a professional. Our teachers receive 40 hours of training per year, which is 20 more than licensing because of NACE. And they do, our teachers, especially Neighborhood House teachers, they rock. They do an amazing job with these children. And they can have anywhere from 14 2-year-olds to 23 to 5-year-olds every day. And if you go in a classroom for 5 minutes, you realize what they do. Because they are not only, you know, here and there and watching, you know, conflict management, and they're engaging with the kids. They're teaching constantly. The 8 hours that they're working, they are teaching. They're sitting having a meal, they're teaching. And on top of that, they're doing training. They're getting their CDAs. They are amazing, and I so appreciate our teachers and the staff that I serve. Leadership is not about yourself. It's about making those below you better. And I know that with this $15 per hour and the raises that we are giving, we can do that. So thank you so much.
And finally, we'd like to bring up Megan Shaw. She's the manager of the after-school program.
Thank you, Jen. So we know that staff quality impacts program quality, more specifically high quality interactions and instruction. lead to higher quality programming and positive child outcomes. Therefore, supporting staff and providing adequate living wage is key to continuous quality improvement process. Increasing the compensation and job advancement opportunities is a key strategy to supporting and retaining a strong workforce. Low wages and a lack of opportunity for job advancement are challenges faced by those in the early education field. These challenges may be more pronounced in the school-age sector, which has so many part-time workers. This is a passionate workforce, but research shows that the pay is the #1 reason that OST or after-school professionals leave the field. We are retaining our staff and we are showing them that they matter and that they are here to stay. So thank you, Jen, thank you, board, and thank you, funders.
Okay, that is our list of speakers for today. We're so grateful for everyone who came, and we also have a couple of our staff here who are impacted by this. Did you guys want to come up to the mic and say anything? Come on up.
Hi everyone, my name is Isabel and I've been working for Neighborhood House for a couple of months now, and I just want to say thank you so much for giving us this opportunity to grow, and we definitely feel appreciated by everyone, and we're just going to give it our all, and thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Jasmine Martinez, and I've been working here for 3 months already, and the news for me is amazing. I feel blessed for me being a mom of household and knowing that, you know, I don't have to come to work and worry, oh, how am I going to pay this? How am I going to pay that? Like, it's just, for me, stress is a big thing, and one of my fears and stress was living paycheck by paycheck, and knowing that I can have a little more in my back is just great. And I'm thankful, and I want to say, everyone, thank you for treating us the way you guys do. I love Neighborhood House, and I'm here for as much as I can stay here. Thank you.
Let's open the floor for interviews for the press.
All right, we'd like to open it up now for interviews. It looks like we have Telemundo here and Fox 13, right on. So this is your group. You get to talk to them. Ask them any questions you'd like. Thank you all so much for being here. And thank you to the Neighborhood House leadership for doing this.
Venga para acá, no se me arranque. Vamos a ver.